Guys, um, how's everybody doing? I'm in my kind of scary basement because it's just the best place to record a video right now because my kids are asleep. My wife is going to watch TV. Um, so this is the best place to do it. But it's cold down here, so I'm wrapped in a blanket while we do this. And man, I left my ukulele upstairs and I was too lazy to go get it. Maybe I'll turn on my electric guitar is down here. Maybe I'll turn that on before we leave. But it's probably not while you're here. What I'm going to talk through for a little bit is just quoting evidence from multiple sources. I'll get a little bit into in-text citation here as well. Probably kind of just throw that in this video, and then I'll do a separate video about your works cited page and what that should look like. You guys ready? How's everybody doing? All right. I'm kind of tired. Hence the caffeine. I'm tired in general, and I kind of just want to be back in school, but I don't think that's happening for a while. So we're making the best of this, right, guys? Right? I hope you guys are doing that and finding ways to do that while staying engaged and doing the work. So I wrote like half of an essay today, basically, mostly just to get to an example. Well, looks like maybe my cat sat on my computer at some point today. So that I could talk to you about, I need a new computer, guys. So I could talk to you about putting in evidence from multiple sources. A couple of things about this real quick. I should have had this pulled up already, but I didn't. Computer being so slow. It might be because my kids actually spilled water on this computer a couple of days ago. It's been acting a little bit weird since then. So probably just time for a new computer. Again, I highly encourage you to use this Sula essay organization. A couple people I know are using it because you've already shared it with me. But one thing that I find really helpful when I'm writing an essay is actually to just write down, like to gather all the evidence first. I think a lot of you, and I do this sometimes, just start writing and then you go and try to find evidence that fits the thing you're writing. But I think sometimes it's easier to find evidence because then you let your evidence shape the thing you're going to write, and it probably ends up better that way because we should know at this point that after your thesis, the next most important thing you need for a good essay is good evidence. And then the commentary is really important. But if you don't have good evidence and a good thesis, commentary is kind of worthless. So that's why I think it makes sense to go through and kind of just find evidence. Since for this essay, you need essays from two of those essays I posted in the folder online, you should be looking at a couple of them. So you'll see in my example that I share with everybody here, I pulled a bunch of quotes. I'm not necessarily going to use all these quotes, but what those quotes are helping me do is think through how I'm going to write my essay and what I want to say. So, I mean, I know for a fact I'm not going to use all of these right now, but again, just like having them there, thinking through them, just gives me stuff to choose from as I get into writing my essay. And the act of having found those quotes kind of made my ideas come together. Who's in this document right now? I want to know who's here. Who's that? Being so slow. You guys are like, get on with the video. It's just fun to see who's here. Now I can't because I need a new computer, guys. All right, back over here. It's going to take forever. Let's get into it. In this document, I have a sample intro paragraph, which I'm not going to talk about right now. I'm mostly just going to focus on this body paragraph right here. So, Nell Wright is the first main character Morrison introduces as Nell and her mother travel to New Orleans for her great-grandmother's funeral. Just introducing where I'm starting in the story. Morrison explains that Nell's mother, Helene, was the daughter of a Creole whore but was raised by her grandmother under the dulcet eyes of the multicolored Virgin Mary. One thing about in-text citation, because we know that you're writing this essay about Sula, when you quote from Sula, you do not need to put Morrison's name in here. Just put the page number. because we know the essay is about Sula, and this is like the rule for academic essays. If you're writing an essay about a book, you don't have to put the author's name when you quote the book, because we're going to assume it's the book. Just do that when you cite a different source, which I'm going to go to now. Helene is a fastidious and disciplined character who, as Janice M. Sokoloff in her essay Intimations of Matriarchal Age describes, is strenuously conventional, married, and proper, and becomes so in reaction against her mother. Sokoloff 431. There you see, I am quoting one of the essays from the folder, so I put the author's first name and the page number. Now, you have a couple of options when introducing this. I could have just dropped the quote in here, but I do think as an author, sometimes it lends credibility to draw attention to the fact that you're citing other experts. So that's what I've done here. And it's as simple as something like this. Helene is a fastidious and disciplined character who, as Jane M. Sokoloff in her essay Intimations of Matriarchal Age describes, strenuously conventional, married, proper, blah, blah, blah. So if you're going to introduce it, with two things I would include: author's full name for the first time and the title of the essay. Every other time, if you want to refer to who wrote it or to point out the fact that you're quoting, I would just use the author's last name from then on. So in other places, I might just say, like, as Sokoloff said, yada, 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 yada. In terms of how much evidence from these essays you have to use, by the way, like, I would try to get to at least one quote per body paragraph and use at least two different sources, and that would be fine. You don't have to go crazy with it. I think as long as you use two, that's fine. Let me show you one more time. It's from the same essay, but just a different way, slightly different way to do it. So the next, this is like half of a body paragraph in the second half of this. So don't think that this is not a complete body paragraph down here that I left you. I've basically given you like a complete intro, one complete body paragraph, and then half or a third of another body paragraph. Next body paragraph. Something got deleted here because I'm almost positive. Literally, my cat sat on my computer. I think this was Hope's. I just hope that's what I want to put. While Nell hopes to develop her sense of self free of the expectations placed upon her by her mother, Sula Peace, the novel's other main character, is introduced in relation to her grandmother, or at least the house she's built. Sula Peace lived in a house of many rooms that had been built over a period of 5 years to the specification of its owner, who kept on adding things. 30. It's okay to occasionally drop in big quotes like this, by the way. Those should be in your toolbox. Just don't do them all like this. Like, I wouldn't do more than one or two in your essay that are like this, where it's colon and then big quote. Try to limit that, but it's okay to do it occasionally. You'll see in the topic sentence here, I'm kind of calling back to the previous paragraph, which is all about Nell. This paragraph all about Sula. So I'm making that connection a little bit clear, and trying to show some contrast between the characters. And I've got this quote. Then I say, through this introduction, Morrison shows the reader that the grandmother, Eva, a name that mythically implies the ancestral mother of all of us, is the shaping force in the formation of the protagonist Sula's character. Sokoloff 430. Here, I'm really just, and this is okay to do here, I'm really just taking the thing that they said and making it part of my analysis. Like, I'm taking Sokoloff's analysis and I'm making it part of my analysis because I agree with what she said, and she said it really well. And then I'm just going to sort of add to that. So in this case, Eva is literally the force that shaped the architecture of the house in which Sula spends her formative years and to which she will later return. I would add a little bit more analysis here probably, and then switch to the next piece of evidence. But the other way you can do this is literally just drop the quote in there. Again, make sure you put author's last name, page number after the quote or at the end of the sentence. That's the in-text citation you need to have here, and you're good to go. So if anything, like, don't overthink this, weirdly enough. And I think if you've got one quote per paragraph that is from one of those essays, you'll be in good shape. If you got more questions about this, let me know. I'm going to share this too with everything else on Google Classroom. So check this out. Like I said, this is like half of an essay about. It's not a full essay, but I think it's enough to hopefully just give you some ideas and help you out a little bit there. And it's okay, by the way, if you have a somewhat similar thesis statement. I don't want you to steal my thesis statement exactly, or use the same exact evidence or kind of structure things the same. But if you have a similar idea you want to go and talk about, you go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's it. I'll have another video up tomorrow specifically about works cited page, which will be important. And then I'm hoping to add a couple more about some specific stuff in the novel. I'll eventually get to all your questions. I'm currently trying to leave feedback on everybody's The Awakening essay. I think this is actually the perfect time for that too, because if you get that feedback now, you can easily apply it to what we're doing now. But I hope to be through all of those, that for people who have requested those by tomorrow evening. You should get all of those from me by then. If you got any other questions or need anything, please reach out. I love hearing from you guys. I really do, whether it's an email. If anybody wants to jump on Google Hangout, talk about anything, I'm probably going to post some virtual office hours later this week. But I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being awesome. Talk to you guys soon.